Bueno, muy bien, estamos a punto de comenzar esta.
Well, we're about to begin with this last session of the morning. This is the third day of the DRT for All Congress, and we're about to finish. Actually, we're waiting for one of the people who will be here at the panel of the users panel. Will probably be here in a minute. But in the meantime, let me just tell you or remind you that this session is the last one, but not the least important, of course, because it has been included ever since 2005 in all the different editions, in the 3 different editions of this Congress. Why do we have a users panel or roundtable at the end? What should users draw conclusions? Because the scientific board of the conference already have a say, and people can sponsor products and speak about them. There are some exhibits, shows about different prototypes, as we have seen this morning. Hello, Miriam. So products such as the iWalker, and I have tested it myself. It's wonderful. I hope it becomes a reality real soon, and hopefully will become more economical. But on top of everything else, and on top of listening to the administrations and know exactly what they're going to, how they're going to use these applications, when attending a DRT, we need to listen to the users. Why? Because we believe that users must be the focal point of any technology and not the other way around, as it has happened for very long. People have always created new technologies thinking about standard people who do not exist for any prototype. Nobody has a thumb that is fast enough to key in an SMS in a keyboard. There is this expansion, proselytized expansion of SMS messages, and I could give you a long list of examples. Technologies will be very useful, of course, and will be making more headway as long as they are considering everyone. They encompass everyone here. That's why we have representatives here on the panel. And given that we're speaking about domotics, robotics, and remote assistance or teleassistance for everyone, given that the Foundation ONCE is organizing this, and for obvious reasons, we are focusing our presentations on people with disabilities, we have here a wide range of people representing different disabilities. We will give the floor to Miriam Vallesi, who is right here to my left. She will be telling us exactly what she does and her impressions about the conference, because she has attended many of the sessions included in them. Dolores Luna is also here with us. She'll be talking to us about people with visual disabilities, and also Encarna Muñoz and Fanny Llorens, who represent the world of the deaf. So without further ado, we want this to be an agile dialogue, and I hope that, well, users have the floor to tell us what they have seen during this conference and what we should be asking researchers and scientists who have gathered here to tell us about their projects. Miriam, you have the floor first. Well, I think that everything was really interesting. Robotics, most of all. At least for me, it was very new. And what I'm going to tell you now, it's nothing new, because what we, the users, need is all of these breakthroughs, all of these innovations to come to us. And they need to be feasible. We need to use them and hopefully adapt them to the needs of our daily life. I believe that probably the most important mistake or failure that I see is the distance between the scientist, the researcher, and the idea of this functional diversity that we find in people. I think it's a new concept. Enrique has talked to us about this earlier, this new concept, functional diversity. And of course, words matter. Many business people who have been presenting products, you can see that they are far away sometimes from the reality of these people with functional diversity. And I think it's important to use all of these products in our daily life. From the financial point of view, I would like to know how we can access this product, whether it is really accessible for everyone. For people like us who have a job and try to earn a living, but we have this type of functional difference, and therefore we need to pay for that extra cost vis-a-vis people without a disability. And above all, I think that this concept is something that we all agree upon. Enrique, you mentioned it earlier. We're all people who have a job, who work, who are part of society, and in order to be integrated and to make this common life possible, we need to have access to all of these technologies. Well, that's why many people say that we are citizens, not de-citizens or denizens, as is sometimes called. Yes, indeed. Why is there such a distance? Why do users perceive this gap between researchers and users? I think that we have indeed make some kind of progress. In 2007, we read this in the conclusions. Whenever there are research projects, the users groups are actually professionals. They have to be hired or included, not only as just guinea pigs, but as active participants in that technology that is being created. Well, I'm not sure if we have progressed anything in these 2 years. I think that there's still a gap. As I said, this concept of functional diversity. If we want to feel integrated, we need to have access to that technological side of research, but also the conceptual dimension, to know that we're all diverse. And when you introduced the Congress, I thought it was very interesting what you said. We cannot fly, we cannot move freely, and therefore we have a limitation. But we're capable. We should be given that capability back, and that's why we need this type of technical aid. I agree. We're not guinea pigs, and we're not that different to other people. We have the same needs. And I would like this conference to be useful. I hope that it is not just a showcase for breakthroughs, but also helpful in bringing that distance closer together. Okay, we're going to note that down. Let us try to bring closer researchers and users, or the recipients of that great technology. Fanny Llorens, and right now you are reading on that plasma screen because in this conference we are using many different technologies for the benefit of all of us, people with this functional diversity. There are people keying in everything that is being said. Sometimes I speed up, and I know that it's very hard. I tend to forget there are people writing all of this. So what is your opinion about the conference and what we can ask the researchers to do? Microphone, please. Well, it takes a while for me to read exactly what you're saying because subtitles, again, take a while. But I would like to thank the Catalan Committee of Representatives with Disabilities for their invitation to take part in this conference. And I agree. I'm grateful in terms of the opportunities given to me. It's very important for deaf people to participate, to access information through subtitles of any speech and any PowerPoint. And I would like to tell you that I'm invisible because I believe that no one, unless you had heard my voice before, no one thought I was deaf before now. I am a postlocutive deaf person. I first acquired speech and then I lost my hearing, and I've been working for many years for people to be recognized as fully fledged citizens. I'm the deputy or the vice president of ACAPS, the Catalan Association of Deaf People, and I'm also a representative at the Municipal Institute of Disabilities at the Barcelona City Hall, and I'm in charge of technologies for deaf people. And thanks to these technical aids, we deaf people improve our quality of life, and therefore we are more autonomous. I've been using this technology for 45 years. When I was 18, I used an earpiece, a hearing aid, and for 15 years I couldn't use it anymore, and then I had a cochlear implant. So if you do not listen, if you cannot hear, you are away from everything that happens, everything that's around us, and these technical aids help us a lot. 30 years ago, when I lost my hearing, when I lost it fully, there was nothing to help me. I was isolated. There were no SMSs. If my daughter went out, she couldn't call me or send me any message, so it was very hard. And that was just one example of how hard it can be. And you have to understand that an auditory prosthesis is not a new ear. It's not new hearing. We need all of these improvements that are occurring with this century of new technologies. Sometimes it's even difficult to find some kind of lights telling us that somebody's calling, either from the street or calling through the phone. It took me many years. A friend of mine had to do it. So it's wonderful, but when we have those lights, we're opening the door, but to whom? We don't know. That's why, on behalf of our association, we are advocates of video intercoms. It's important to have this pilot light to know exactly when to open the door and to whom. You need to know who's calling when we are at home or when we are on the street. All of this has to be accessible. If I cannot hear the phone ringing, I use written messages, email, and all of these communication messages. I can use Messenger actually to communicate with my friends, and I can somehow retrieve those real-time conversations. The official systems of the City Hall offer us different channels, but to contact them, luckily enough. But I cannot contact the rest of the communication of society because we also catch a cold. We take an elevator, our washing machine breaks, and we need some kind of help in that daily life activities. And we hope that this technology will become accessible for our activities and they will become a reality. In the past few years, we have seen important technological progress that was unthinkable before. And the deaf people who actually use oral communication, oral languages, desperately need those technologies. Magnetic loops, FM signals, they have meant an important step forward in the education given to deaf people that are now accessing higher education and university diplomas. Hearing aids, cochlear implants, all of these help us receive information, retrieve information, and they help us neutralize the information barriers we stumble upon every single day. But we need to be aware that these new communication systems have to consider auditory prostheses. They need to be compatible with what we have, for instance, these teleassistant systems. In 1999, an act of that year actually exclude this type of assistant systems for people with speech impairment or some kind of auditory disability. But any person, any adult or any elderly, need to have access to teleassistance methods. Therefore, they cannot be excluded. And I mentioned the elderly because they are the majority of them, but teleassistance is necessary for any